everybody, and thank you for joining us today for our webinar, in which we'll be introducing our new joint solution with NEC for data layer monitoring. My name is Daniel Ray. I'm a marketing manager at AudioCodes, and I'll be the moderator of today's event. Today, you'll be hearing from Yossi Zada, the VP OVOC of Business Line, Yoav Milber, our Director of Business Development, and Marina Risha, the Product Manager of the OVOC product. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. To help things moving along smoothly today, we'll be keeping all your lines on mute, but we still want this to be an interactive session, and we encourage you to post your comments and questions in the questions tab on the control panel. To submit a question, just click on the questions tab, enter your question in the text box, and click send. We'll collect all the questions that are asked during the session, and we'll send all the questions and their answers to all people who have registered for the webinar, along with the webinar recording and the slide deck in an email in the next few days. Now I'll hand it over to you, Yossi. Hey, please start.
Hi, thank you for joining. My name is Yossi Zada. Our online activities move at a pace which is beyond fast. But just how much activity is conducted online? This updated infographic from Laurie Lewis and Chad Callahan illustrates what happens across the web on average during every minute of an average day. The data transmitted alone is overwhelming. As of right now, in every minute, 1 million users log in on Facebook, 1.4 million people sweep on Tinder, and almost 350,000 users scroll through Instagram. That's in 1 minute every day. Additionally, more than 40 million messages are passed between various individuals on WhatsApp. All that is a glimpse of the bigger picture. Take a look at the infographic. It gets much more interesting when comparing this infographic with the one from 2018. Now we can see the trends. For instance, no erosion in Facebook logins. As we can see in most of the applications, the growth is moderate. However, we can see that for a few applications, the growth is dramatic. In 2019, the number of tweets in Twitter grew in 400% compared to the last year. The number of scrolls in Instagram is doubled. During the recent years, Netflix leads with a phenomenal growth in the amount of watched hours. In 2019, it has been almost tripled to almost 700,000 hours watched per minute. Also, the number of Netflix subscribers grew linearly, 30% in average per year. The watch time, on the other hand, grew exponentially. The watch time in 2017 was 70,000 hours per minute in average. In 2019, almost 650,000 per minute in average. These figures show a dramatic cultural shift. In 2017, each subscriber watched 1 hour a day on average. In 2 years later, it grew to 6 hours a day. By the way, a subscriber may have few viewers, so it's not a single viewer watching all these 6 hours a day. Each subscriber watch time continuously grows from year to year, presenting importance of integrated and smooth Netflix application experience. Netflix is designed for binging. No ads, starting automatically the next episode, even offering you the option to skip the intro and the credits. In addition, Netflix content recommendations to you are personalized based on your consumption history. This is the main strength of the Netflix algorithm, presenting the exact content for you from the endless ocean of series and movies. Actually, in a sense, it became an addiction. Like other addiction, Netflix addiction provides user with a sense of relief and in some cases even a type of high. In the Netflix letter to shareholders in the last quarter, Q3 2019, they are writing their content vision, and it's very impressive. We strive to program the Netflix with the best variety of high-quality content across many genres. To accomplish this, we need a great breed of quality content because people have a very diverse taste. No doubt that Netflix, like other, competes on our eyeballs by providing a vast variety of content across age, gender, channels, and cultures. AudioCodes One Voice Operations Center vision is becoming the IT manager go-to screen for all voice-related management activities, the main platform of VoIP devices, applications, and services for the enterprise IT manager. Currently, the One Voice Operations Center integrates the following capabilities: device management of the vast AudioCodes portfolio, quality experience monitoring, routing manager, user management, recording management, and more. Today, we will present the third-party vendor integration for data layer monitoring to provide end-to-end solution from detection to correction. In the world of unified communication, the contact center voice quality is a key factor in a successful voice deployment. The One Voice Operations Center advanced quality package helps to identify the call quality related issues quickly so you can immediate action to resolve them. OVOC data layer monitoring is powered by NEC's MasterScope Network Manager and MasterScope Network Flow Analyzer, enabling root cause analysis for calls with the quality issues to a multi-layer drill down. By correlating the monitoring information between the voice data, the voice, and the data layers. One Voice Operations Center provides a complete and powerful solution for detecting and immediately correcting the voice-related problems in the network. The benefits are, we have a lot of benefits with this integration. The monitor, analyze, and troubleshoot voice and data layer from a single pane of glass. Access to all current and historical call data and underlining data layer information with just few clicks. Intelligent insight into the network trends and performance to assist in planning and design. Intuitive user interface to simplify the voice network operation, improve the user experience, and reduce downtime. And now I will hand over to Yariv in order to explain exactly the integration.
Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Yariv. Before we start and show you exactly a specific use case that is have a great value to anyone that runs voice over IP solutions, I want to focus on the specific phase of the life cycle of the project which this entire integration will bring value. Now, I know that in most of the cases, all of us are actually concentrating on the provisioning and configuration of the devices and the IP phones, etc. However, most of the time and most of our efforts during the entire life cycle of whatever we are managing will be during the operational phase, because the installation and commissioning is just the beginning. Now, in most of the operation phase on daily life of an IT manager, we will need to tackle all sorts of problems and quality issues that we may face when you are actually deploying an SBC, an IP phone, and so on. Now, as you all of us know, this smart guy on screen, that actually I really like is this statement, because it's not just when you're evaluating a voice over IP problem Also, when you go to in healthcare to a doctor, it's going to be the same. You're going to spend most of the time trying to understand what was broken and where it was broken. And then the fixing itself, once you understand where is the problem, the fixing itself is actually the short part of the resolution. So what actually we are striving and looking to is to have all sorts of tools that will quickly enable us to quickly find what was broken and where was broken. And this is what actually we're going to face right now in this specific use case of this integration. So I believe that most of you here online already know the AudioCodes One Voice Operation Center, which is the main platform that shows you all the information with regards to AudioCodes devices, Skype for Business on-prem, and so on. And actually, it can show you exactly what is the quality on your entire voice over IP infrastructure. And this is the screen that you see online. Now, assuming that you have in this screen a certain issues, you will probably, the next step that you're going to take when you try to troubleshoot would be to filter out the specific calls that builds up the event, okay, the specific calls that were during this problematic period that you had. And this is the next screen that you see on the slide, which is the part where you can concentrate on the problematic calls. But then again, in order to resolve the issue, this will not be enough, because this will only show you how many calls or extensions were affected from the issue. And the next step in our troubleshooting would be to go down into a specific call and see exactly within the call what was the issue and exactly where was the issue. And actually what you can see on screen here is that you can see that on our left side is actually our internal extensions. Then we have our specific SBC, and then on the right side, this is actually the exit towards the SIP trunk. So for example, in this specific screen, you can see that the problem was between the SBC and the SIP trunk. It's nothing to do on your internal network, and this actually enables you to very quickly understand what was the problem and where. Now, when we talk about voice over IP, obviously this is where the story ends on the voice over IP layer. However, in most of the cases, when you see this kind of a problem, you can assume that this could be either the service provider SIP trunk, or it could be also the last router that we have. Now, how we can know if the problem is on the data layer that propagates towards the voice over IP layer? In order to do so, we now introduce the integration to master scope, which is NEC configuration and provisioning and monitoring for the data layer network. What you're going to do now, once you have deployed this master scope together with the OVOC, you can see that we have this eye icon on each one of the legs of the call. You only need to click on this eye icon, and this is what you see illustrating here. Let's click on the eye icon, and you're going to have a seamless integration and transformation from one screen of the OVOC immediately to the next screen of the master scope NEC. And it's not just that it's going to switch to the screen and will show you the information. It will also automatically zoom in on the specific data element that was actually part of the issue. Now, we are not stopping obviously on this level. Then you can also see that when there is a handshake between the OVOC and the master scope, it's not just the master scope automatically filtered exactly the element, and also, as you can see, the time frame on screen. You can see, for example, in 1811, that was the issue. You can see that the master scope automatically also filtered. It gathered it from the OVOC system. And when you click and go down to analyze specifically on this time frame what was the issue, you can see that if I'm using the application of master scope, I can see what other applications were running in parallel to the voice over IP call itself. So I can see what on the data layer, what other application could have causing the issue that affected the specific voice over IP call. So remember, we started with the OVOC system, analyzing, troubleshooting the problem on the voice over IP layer. Once we zoom in up to the specific time and a specific call and specific section, you can click and automatically seamlessly jump to the master scope application. And for there, seamlessly continuing in the investigation inside the data layer monitoring system. So you have not just that you have two applications that will cover you both of the bases, the data layer and the voice over IP, but they are also talking to one another, meaning when we move and take the stick and moving it from the OVOC towards the master scope, is not just telling him, hey, I have this issue. We also behind the scene, actually there are more information that we pass to the master scope in order to cut short the investigation time. This will dramatically reduce the time that you need to understand what was broken and where it was broken, and in the end of the day, reduce dramatically your MTTR, mean time to repair, which is a very crucial parameter that you have in your network operations center. And this is one of the greatest values of this integration. And in order to present you additional values with regard to the master scope, I hand over to Marina, which are our product manager. Please, Marina.
Hello, everybody. I will focus on master scope itself, as we spoke a lot about the integrative value. Now we will explain a little bit about master scope application and all the objectives on which it's focusing. First of all, it covers management, monitoring, and automation. Those are three main modules, while the main added value and the main advantage of integrative solution when we are speaking of master scope together with AudioCodes is management and monitoring tools. Master scope features graphical data layer components map, where all the routers and switches of your network can be either defined by you or auto-discovered. So it's very similar, if you're familiar with OVOC, it's very similar to OVOC map, and it gives an integrative view and an integrative similarity of two products in terms of how to manage your system. Data network topology management is covered very well for all the best vendor and well-known vendors of routers and switches. In the term of quick repairment of and reporting of faults, there is a great functionality of network failure, quick and clear reporting. There is an alarm browsing and an alarm summary per device and per entity. The visual representation is very clear and convenient. And another topic which we also have in both components for data layer monitoring in master scope, and we have it also in OVOC for voice quality SBCs, is the performance monitoring functionality. Master scope features large variety of tools to enable you to view performance monitoring data, and those tools are enabled by collecting those graphs, and metrics are enabled by collecting metrics via SNMP API and real-time data analysis. User can define user-defined screens and reports and analyze this way data layer system and make an analytics of it. We are focusing on three modules from master scope. The network alert monitoring. It's a master scope network manager which is responsible for failure management, performance monitoring, and configuration file management. I have mentioned earlier. Another module, second module, is network flow monitoring, and this module basically enables stable operation of your network and visualizes and breaks down the traffic, so you are able to answer the question: what are exactly flows which were used, and what is exactly routes which data being transferred in your network. Combination of those two is integrated very well and displayed via integrated monitoring. It's a unified new user interface which is very clean and intuitive, and it simplifies voice network operations and monitoring. It's an umbrella of both network manager and network flow analyzer. Now, master scope, data layer monitoring. What are the routers and switches for whom this application is available and support their management? The best breed of routers and switches from Cisco, from Juniper, Huawei, NEC itself, F5. All those equipments are managed by NEC MasterScope, managed and monitored by NEC MasterScope. Basically, the criteria if data layer equipment can be managed or not is not if they are placed here in this screen, but if the equipment support two basic protocols, SNMP for alerts, data layer monitoring and auto discovery, and NetFlow and SFlow for data flow analysis. If you have an equipment from any other vendor who is not listed here and it supports SNMP and NetFlow, it will be managed by MasterScope. Well, we hope that until now you're already convinced that this is the way to go, and you wish to contact us and order the solution with the combined solution of OVOC and data layer monitoring. So a few points how to make an order, how to understand the building and pricing model of the solution. First of all, MasterScope is built on the top of OVOC Advanced because of the integration between two applications is relevant and viable and gives a maximal added value when you have an OVOC Advanced. So first of all, you should get OVOC Advanced. Then you should understand what is your network built from. And there are two numbers which are in counts. It's number of nodes. When we say nodes, we mean to routers and switches in your network. And the number of interfaces you wish to monitor. Once you have those two numbers, you can approach AudioCodes representative and receive an offer from us for this combined solution. The combined solution is available starting price book 6.5, and it's available for general purpose. So now what can be done in order to deep dive into solution and in order to understand better, to learn more about the architecture and about each one of the products. We have a new page of OVOC MasterScope voice quality and data layer monitoring. We have a new brochure. And of course, you are more than welcome to contact your AudioCodes local representative for a live demo or to receive a POC license to run the product evaluation. Our local representative will pull us as needed, and we will be glad to contact you and to provide any required info and any information that you might wish. Back to you, Daniel.
Okay, thank you very much, Marina, and thank you, Yossi, and thanks, Yariv, for your very interesting contributions. On behalf of AudioCodes, I'd like to thank all of you for participating in the webinar today. I just wanted to remind you all that everyone who registered for the webinar will receive an email in a few days' time with a link to download the recording and the slide deck, and also we will also send all the questions and the answers, or the questions and the answers to the questions that have been submitted during the course of the session. If you have any more questions or thoughts you'd like to share with us, of course, you're all welcome to contact us directly. I also want to bring to your attention that we will have a couple more webinars coming up in the next few weeks on other solutions that AudioCodes is offering with relation to the management systems. That's one on SDVN, software-defined voice networking, and also one on our collaboration with Secure Logics for call screening. If you haven't received the emails, you should be receiving emails, invitations to those webinars soon. And that concludes the webinar for today. Thank you very much, and we look forward to having you join us in future events. Goodbye.